Beacon Marketing's Weekly 5 Things You Want Marketing this week. My name is Roger Gallegos. I'm the founder and CEO of Beacon Marketing. Today we're going to be talking about social media and strategy, specifically how you could develop an effective strategy for your social media. If you watched any of our videos or seen any of our content, you know how important we view strategy. So I wanted to really kind of focus on how strategy applies to social media. So if you are just focusing on social media, if you're saying, I don't want to create a big strategy for everything, but I just want to hone in to my social media efforts and how I can make that more effective, this video is for you. So we're going to jump right into it by talking about your target audience. So step one in developing a strategy for your social media is to understand your target audience. This is important because you want to know who you're speaking to, and more importantly, you want to know what platforms they're on. So for instance, if you're going for a younger audience, they're probably going to be on platforms like TikTok, Instagram. If they're gamers, they're probably going to be on something like Twitch. If it's an older audience, more Facebook. If it's more professional, LinkedIn, Twitter, those type of things. So you want to understand who you're speaking to, because who you're speaking to is probably going to impact where they get the information. And it's important because you could have a message that goes across a bunch of platforms, but generally you want to focus on 2 or 3. So understanding who your target audience will help you hone in on what marketing channels you should focus on, which I'll get more into in a little bit. But you really want to understand who you're targeting, and this will help you with your messaging. So that leads me into my next point. Make sure your messaging has a purpose. All too often what I see is companies, they just put out what I call random acts of marketing. So they just say, Happy New Year's, or Merry Christmas, or Happy 4th of July. And that's great, but what is your larger strategy? How does this thing fit in? Are you having a sale for these things? What are your bigger goals? It's nice to put those messages out there, but those get drowned out in so many things, and they just get ignored. So I almost would feel like it's better not to say those things unless it's part of a larger strategy. Your messaging should have a purpose. You should be efficient with your marketing. So really, this goes back to that first point: understand your target audience and understand your pain points, which I did a video earlier this month about. So if you have not checked that out, I would go back and see that video, because that will help you understand and make that point, your messaging having a purpose. You want to address your customers' pain points, attract them, and point them somewhere. So whether it's to a sales page, whether it's to collect the emails for a email list, or getting them to contact you, or if it's just to inform them and share something so you can kind of establish yourself as an industry leader or a thought leader, your messaging should have a purpose. So as you develop your strategy, as you look at what you want to accomplish with social media, make sure you're doing it with intent and you're trying to accomplish a goal, and not just to say happy holiday or happy whatever it is. Focus your messaging on having a purpose. Number 3 is understand how you will use each platform. I mentioned that you want to focus on 2 or 3 of the marketing social media platforms. You don't want to go too broad, especially all at once. Generally, depending on your business, you're going to have an audience that uses 1 or 2, maybe even 3 social media platforms. I forget the exact numbers, but I know I saw something in the last year or so that people use primarily 1 social media platform or maybe another one. So they'll use something like Facebook and LinkedIn, or LinkedIn and Instagram. So where's your audience at? Focus your information on that and understand how you will use each platform. Not all platforms are the same. So let's just say you have a younger audience that's both professional, but they're younger, so they're probably going to be using like a mixture of LinkedIn for the professional work and Instagram for like more fun and casual, and to also stay informed. So you could kind of have some overlap there. So you want to keep your messaging on LinkedIn professional and focused on whatever business you're doing, and on Instagram it can be professional, it can be more fun and more kind of image based and more attractive to that eye. So understand how each platform is used by its users and craft your messaging. Don't just use the same template and the same messaging for everything, because then you don't stand out. It just looks like you're rubber stamping, and you want to be able to your messaging to stand out on all these platforms. So you understand how each platform is being used, and craft your messaging to fit that purpose. Next is use all of your resources. This is a very important one. One of the things I see a lot of people struggle with is that, or a lot of businesses, is the owner or the marketing manager tries to do everything by themselves. That's almost impossible, especially if you have other things to do. So try to rely on someone to handle interacting with your customers, or have someone help you with graphic design, or actually drafting and editing the message, or maybe using a service like Buffer to do the scheduling. Whatever it is, try to delegate some of this activity so you don't get too bogged down and you're allowed to do other parts of your job. So you want to try to make this a process by which you know your role in getting things done, but other people have your back. And when I say resources, it also goes to financial. So are you able to hire outside help? Are you able to buy ads? So what I like to tell people to do is just sit down and write everything that you have at your disposal that you may use for this. Doesn't mean you're going to use it, but it just means that you may. So let's say you have $500 extra a month that you could devote to buying ads. Not that you're going to use that $500, but it's something that you can put in your hip pocket to say, you know what, we have a big event or we're having a big sale, maybe I'll use it for that. Or say, you know what, I need some help this month, so I'm going to devote a little bit of that to hiring someone from Fiverr, or I'm going to, hire an independent contractor to get this done. Whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, understand your resources, because it will make this process a lot easier. You become much more effective if you understand your resources, you understand what you're trying to accomplish. Last is set time aside to interact with your audience. Social media, the great thing about social media, what really makes it beneficial is you can interact with your audience in real time. That's what makes it special. So if all you're doing, if it's just a one-sided conversation where you're just putting messages out and you're not interacting, you're going to have trouble. So the great way to kind of envision this being done in practice is Instagram. You see a lot of successful accounts sharing information, and they're responding to their audience. Their audience are engaged, and so they respond, they like their messages, and you see that high level of engagement. Do those things with others. Do it on Facebook. Do it on LinkedIn. Because if people see that you're responding to them, if they see that you like and share their comments or whatever, they're going to be more prone to come back and interact. They're going to be more prone to share, which is going to help you grow your audience and have more of an impact. So set some time to interact. It doesn't have to be a lot. You could set aside 20 minutes a day. You could be around your lunch period. It could be the first thing you do in the morning, last thing you do in the evening. Just take a little bit of time each day to interact. You'll get the benefit for it. Or, speaking to the resources, if you have someone on your team that likes to do this, have them do it for you. Just, as the manager or the owner of the business, just check in and make sure that they're doing the correct thing. So, those are the things, so let's recap real quick on how you can develop a strategy specifically for your social media. First thing you want to do is understand your target audience. Then you want to make sure that your messaging has a purpose. To do that, look at your audience's pain points that will help you hone your messaging. You want to know how you'll use each platform. So study the platform, study how people use it, understand what the platform is being used for, and cater your messaging to that purpose. Use all your resources. Like I say, detail everything that you have at your disposal. And if you're going to use it, understand how you're going to use it and what that benefit's going to be. Lastly, set aside to interact. You want to be able to message and interact with the audience, because that's really what sets social media apart from the other marketing channels, is that you can interact in real time. So that is it for me today. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know where you're at with your social media journey. Have you tried any of these things? If not, which one of these things would you want to try first, or what sounds the best to you? As always, please like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. This has been Beacon Marketing's Weekly 5 things about marketing that you need to know this week. My name is Roger Gallegos, founder and CEO of Beacon Marketing. I'll be back next week. Don't have the topic for next week yet, but I'm sure it's going to be a good one. Talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.